Hi, this is Eric Erb from the Eric Erb Show Live. You can find me online at theericerbshow.com and on Twitter, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show, and on anchor.fm. Anchor.fm gives you a free platform. If you want to get started blogging for free, Anchor provides all the tools. You can also connect your podcast to Apple, Spotify, and all the big major podcasting platforms online. If you want to get heard, the best way to do it is anchor.fm. Okay, let's get to the news here. This is going to be kind of a quick podcast. I was just reading an article today, and the article is from the News Pipeline, an alternative news source, the All News Pipeline, alternative news. I was reading an article today. It's talking about Hillary Clinton because Bernie Sanders, shame on bad Bernie. Bernie Sanders did not endorse Hillary Clinton at the time in the 2000 election against Donald J. Trump. Trump won. Trump beat Hillary. That was the end of it. Well, Hillary's never forgot that. She'll never get over that. She blames Bernie for not endorsing her early on in 2016 when they finally bought Bernie off. Bought him, gave him whatever he wanted. I think he ended up getting another house, a car, a whole bunch of stuff out of the deal. They bought Bernie off. Bernie endorsed Hillary Clinton. Well, now the Democrats are prepared to blow up the entire party in order to stop Bernie Sanders from becoming the nominee by rigging yet another primary against him. In other words, it's a rigged deal, folks. They don't want Bernie. He's a socialist. They don't want that here. They know in mainstream middle America, this shit ain't going to fly. Okay, we know it's not going to fly. You know it's not going to fly. This crap ain't going to fly. However, there's millions of people out there that do support Bernie Sanders, and you have to understand that. Bernie has a money machine going. Bernie can raise a lot of money. His ground team, since before 2016, has virtually and basically stayed in place. His campaign, his ground team, the people on the ground for Bernie Sanders, all of them people have basically stayed intact from 2016 through 19. The Sanders campaign has a very well organized ground game, and Hillary Clinton still blames Bernie Sanders for her losing to Donald J. Trump. I know Bernie Sanders has been campaigning on and off with AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and also Rashida Tlaib. She is the congresswoman in the House from the state of Michigan, a Muslim, of course, I think Palestinian as well. And she's very radical. She's a nut. I'm just going to say that. She's crazy. She has a lot of crazy ideas. She's a nut. But Bernie had her campaigning with him. They're on the campaign trail here just a few days ago. They were in a state and they were starting a rally, and she was booing Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail. They're right on stage, and she's booing Clinton, and this type of attitude that the millennials have is very fascinating. I've been following politics for the last 35, 40 years. It's very, very fascinating. You have old school Bernie Sanders. You have new school millennial Rashida Tlaib, AOC, Ilhan Omar, the squad, basically. The squad is just want to go in and to radically just whatever it takes, just get the job done. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care about rules. Just screw it. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. It's very fascinating. Now Hillary Clinton is because basically we all know the Democratic Party is ran by the Clinton machine, the Clinton propaganda machine. That's the only way the they're broke. They're broke. Trump's raising millions, hundreds of millions. The Democratic machine can't raise anything. If it wasn't for Bernie Sanders, I mean, they would be broke. Okay, that's the bottom line. Hillary Clinton controls that. She wants that DNC, Democratic National Committee, to do anything in their power to stop Bernie, because what really is aching and what's killing her is she wants to get back in this damn race, no matter if it kills her, no matter if what, and no matter if she's crawling to be declared president on January 20th, 2021. I mean, Hillary can taste it. She can feel it. She was so damn close, and everybody screwed her life up. Well, it wasn't meant to be. Trump got elected fair and square. She might have won the popular vote. However, we don't do the popular vote. And let me just explain something to you. The popular vote is basically if you have a big city. Let's say I'm in Central Florida, but let's say, for example, like Miami. Okay, I'll pick on me here in the state of Florida. I'm in Central Florida, but Miami being a big population, there being, I think, 2.1 to 2.5 million people in Miami. For all the other millions of people in the state of Florida, on a popular vote, that big city essentially means that Miami is the biggest city in the state of Florida. Miami would decide for all of us, rest of us, millions of people in the state of Florida, all the rest of the citizens, the voters. Now, I ask you, that's why we have electoral college. We have districts, and each district comes together, and then they have a certain amount of, once the state decides, each county is represented, each district is represented, and they all have a collective electoral votes. And so the process is the candidate that comes, and in different states is a little bit different. I think Colorado is a little different. California is a little screwy. There's a couple of different states that are like this. And once you have X amount of votes, if you carry, let's say in the state of Florida, maybe Trump carries obviously over 50%, Trump's going to win the electoral votes. Now, in some states, and I want to say again, California, Colorado, maybe Maine as well. I'm not real sure, but there's some of them that end up splitting the votes. The person that had the majority of the electoral votes is like if Trump carries the state of Maine, let's say, he would take 2 votes, and then the person, basically the Democrat, would get 1 vote allocated. And so it's very, very, very interesting, but that's how the voting process is, that we've done this 100 years plus. To say a popular vote is going to win, you would just have, I'll be honest, you'd have about 6 or 8 of the biggest cities in the United States. They would be deciding every 4 years who wins the popular vote. Again, Miami would be one. You have even trumped that would be the city of Los Angeles, California. You would have New York City, last count a while back ago, about give or take 20 million people. So you have the city of New York City. Well, 20 million people, that's a lot of friggin' power in a system whereby you have a popular vote. So I'm down here in Florida. To be honest with you, anybody here listen to this podcast, I don't want the whole damn city of New York City deciding for what I want down here in Central Florida. I want a voting right. I want to be able to vote who the hell I want, when I want, and how I want to vote. So again, just like I don't want Miami. Miami's liberal down there. They're always fucking everything up down there in Miami. The libs run the South Florida down there. They're always Broward County. They're always, don't even get me going, from the election fiasco way back and George W. Bush's election. I mean, on and on and on against Al Gore. I mean, hanging chads. I can go on and on and on forever. Point being is that's why you don't want a election based on a popular vote. Again, you would have maybe 6 to 8 cities deciding for the whole entire, all 50 states, who becomes president. That's why we have an electoral process. So again, it gets a little complicated sometimes because the states go and they change things. They have to change things through the state, through the process, and go legally in order to change the electoral process, then that has to be approved by the Federal Election Commission, the FEC. And it's a whole long process if they change how they do things. But again, going back to what I said earlier at the start of the podcast, is they don't want Bernie Sanders to win. So you can kind of see whereby the cards are slowly falling into place. Joe Biden has, I think he's getting severe dementia. I had heard one point in time Joe Biden possibly even had some type of either blood clot or brain tumor in his head. Again, that's just hearsay. I don't know if that's fact, but I did hear that, pick that up on the news, one alternative news source. Hillary is doing anything she can to get back on Trump and to stop Bernie Sanders so he does not win. The bottom line is, if Trump wins, which Trump will win another 4 years, all these motherfuckers, all these bastards, one by one, it's a slow process. It's called due process. They're liberal. All these cocksuckers that are in the swamp, Trump's going to drain the swamp gallon by gallon of water. And these sons of bitches are all going to be flushed down the toilet. A lot of them, not all of them, because like anything else, there's so many. There's not 10 or 20 or 30. There's hundreds of thousands of deep state. These deep state sons of bitches, these deep state plants from Obama and Clinton, when Clinton was under Obama running the State Department. There's tons and tons and tons of people. And a lot of them are good, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of these bad people. And these bad people have to end up going, and that's what they're afraid of. That's why they're afraid of Donald J. Trump. He's an outsider. He's going to come in. He's going to get another 4 years. It's not a matter of if he will. Hillary wants to win the presidency or make sure somebody's appointed so she can beat Trump. If she doesn't run herself, I'm not convinced. I still think at the last minute she could get in. She could be a party write-in. She controls the Democratic National Party, the Clintons do. And if she gets in, or she gets one of her cronies in, then she knows that she can laugh all the way home and all the way to the bank. But if Trump has another 4 years, she knows that her ass is grass and her goose is cooked. That's it. This is Eric Erb for the Eric Erb Live Show. Love to have you as a subscriber. If you like this channel, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Go to anchor.fm/The Eric Erb Show Live. You can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show. And also find me on theericerbshow.com. This is Eric Erb signing off.